Okay. April.
Josh, when it comes to TAA and even TPP, many Democrats felt it was really a matter of survival for many middle-income Americans who could lose their jobs to globalization. What do you say about the issue of survival as you're trying to marry this globalization and trade with people you're wanting to enhance TAA in case there is a job loss for some of these people?
And this was the nature. This is a significant part of the presentation that the president made to House Democrats today. It is impossible to completely insulate the United States of America and the American people from the broader economic forces of globalization. It's just impossible to do so. And so the question is, how are the leaders of this country going to prepare our economy and the American people to weather those forces? There are some who advocate trying to shut the United States out from the rest of the world. The president has zero confidence in that strategy. The president believes that our economy and our people are best served if we actually try to engage the world, and engage the world in a way where we enter into agreements whereby they commit to respecting basic intellectual property laws, raising labor standards, adopting higher environmental standards, respecting and protecting basic human rights. That if we can get them to commit to doing all of that in exchange for doing business in the United States, well, what the United States is essentially doing is leveling the playing field. And we can go do business in all those countries too. And when I say all those countries, we're talking about some of the most economically dynamic countries in the world. These are the countries that have some of the fastest growing economies on the planet. And giving American businesses and American workers the opportunity to do business in those countries with a more level playing field is a tremendous opportunity. And that is the right way for us to respond to the challenging forces of a globalized economy.
So when you say that it's impossible to insulate the American people from this globalization and trade deal that you're doing, when you're in your rooms calculating the positives and the negatives, realistically, what is this White House expecting when the trade bill goes through, the numbers of jobs and the numbers of people who could lose their jobs because of globalization over the next 6 years, as you said, with TAA?
You mean how soon do we expect this legislation to pass? Is that what you're asking?
No. I'm
Okay.
asking. No. I'm asking realistically in numbers. When you calculate the positives of TPA and the losses with globalization, realistically in the next 6 years, when you have this trajectory, if TAA were to come into place, how many people realistically in this nation are you looking at that could realistically not be insulated, lose their jobs because of TPA?
Well, let me see if we can get you some economic analysis from the CEA. What I would merely say to you is this, is that the United States, our economy, and our people will be much worse off if we just lock in the status quo, if we don't do anything. The president believes, and there is some evidence to back this up, that if we do enter into these trade agreements that seek to level the playing field with other countries, particularly those countries in the most economically vibrant regions of the world, that will create jobs right here in the United States. That was the reason the president traveled to the Nike headquarters 6 or 8 weeks ago. That's exactly what Nike said. Nike is a company with a history of investing in other countries, taking advantage of the economic opportunity that exists in other countries. And what Nike said was, they said, if you pass this TPP deal and we get other countries to start to raise their labor standards and raise their environmental standards and respect basic intellectual property rights, that what we're going to do is we're actually going to invest in creating jobs right here in America, because we know right here in America we've got the best workers, we've got the best colleges and universities, we've got the most clever innovators, we've got the most ambitious entrepreneurs, and that's an environment that Nike wants to be a part of. So they recognize that by engaging in the world, we can actually expand economic opportunity right here at home.